ladies and gentlemen of the audience.
Allow myself to introduce myself.
Dave! 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 Ah. You! Now that's just hurtful.
That's the fact, Jack!
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Steel Sanctuary Podcast. I'm your host, David Merrill from SteelSanctuary.com. I'm here with David Korob and no longer special guest Trent Ging, but full-time member. Trent, how's it going?
It's going pretty good, guys. How are you doing?
Good, good. Glad to have you on permanently now. Steelers never let us down with news. Omar Khan has been extended for 3 years.
Hell yeah.
Some of us are more excited than others. Go ahead, Dave. Take it. What do you think?
We're already going to jump into this. I thought there was other subjects we were going to cover first.
No, we'll go right into Kevin Colbert.
Well.
Ooh, a Freudian slip there.
Kevin Colbert.
Khan.
Yeah.
Freudian slip there.
Look, I'm happy about it. I think he's done a great job. I mean, if we go back, in his first season, he signed 8 free agents, flipped Claypool for a 32nd pick. You remember this? We were like, "Holy crap, this is crazy! This is not like what we're used to." It was a lot of fun, and that's what this guy's given us as Steeler fans. These first 3 off seasons has been fun as hell. So, as a fan, it's fun to have this guy as our GM because it's become all bets are off. You don't know what the fuck this guy's gonna do, honestly. But I mean, in his first season, he did all that, signed 8 free agents, re-signed 3 players, did the flip with Claypool. His second season, he trades Pickett, which was amazing, good. And then, getting both Russell Wilson and then getting Fields for only a 6th-round pick who went 4-2. What else? He actually signed 5 more players to include Sean Elliott, which was a great find. And then now look at his third offseason. Jesus Christ. Signed Aaron Rodgers, freaking traded to get DK Metcalf, got Slay, traded for Ramsey, traded an unproductive Minkah. Let's be honest. I know your love for him, Dave. I love your love for him, even though you criticized him for the last 2 years. But hey, never mind all that.
We're going to talk more about that later. Go ahead, keep going.
And then he extends to Sean Elliott too, because he ended up being a diamond in the rough that we didn't think would amount to being this. Dude, notable draft picks. Here we go. JPJ, Keanu Benton, Zach Frazier, Peyton Wilson, Nick Herbig, Mason McCormick. Half of those are 4th-round picks. That's good. Now, the negatives.
Is it good?
First, before I get to the negatives, he's also made the playoffs his first 2 years as GM. Also a good thing. Now, they got the shit kicked out of him? Sure. That's because all of his coaching staff is incompetent. Let's be honest. Anyways, now the negatives. So, Broderick Jones, to me, sticks out as a big negative draft pick by him. We're hoping finally in year 3 that these incompetent coaches finally put him where he belongs, left tackle. But to me, that's a negative. I think he takes chances on a lot of injured players in drafts more than I feel comfortable with. That's been his big thing. And then the third thing is the failure to fix the wide receiver room through the last 2 years. I think that's the big one. Yeah. And so there's a lot of good with me. I've really enjoyed this guy being the GM, but there's also a couple negative that I'm not going to be blind to. I understand that. But to me, there's just way more good than bad. He has revamped the off-ball linebacker room, the offensive line, the secondary, technically, besides Minkah. Now Minkah's gone, so now you can really say he revamped it. There was a lot of things, not to take a shot at Colbert here, but there were a lot of things that needed revamped that I think this guy has done. So they went from not making the playoffs, and I think Colbert's final year, right, to making the playoffs 2 years in a row. Is that true? Am I right on that as well?
I believe you're
so.
Right. I believe you're right.
You go from no playoffs to 2 straight years of playoffs. I'm pretty happy. I'm happy.
Trent, are you as happy as Dave?
I am actually an Omar Khan fan. So I think if you think about what he started out with, offensive line was maybe the biggest weakness on the roster when he took over.
Might be.
Yeah. I mean, that or both the middle linebackers. I mean, either one of them, they were both horrible when he took over. It was horrible situations. He totally revamps both of those groups. It took a couple of years on the offensive line to get there. But, he goes out, he makes a deal for Isaac Seumalo, brings in a veteran, a guy who's a Super Bowl winner. Great guard. I mean, dude was top 10 at his position at the time. You get a guy like Zach Frazier in the mix who's totally outperformed, I think, what most people thought in a rookie season. I mean, he's ranked the third best center in the NFL last year. I mean, nobody saw that kind of
got him in the second round.
Yeah. Frazier's his best draft pick. That's what he can hang his hat on for sure.
Yeah,
it makes me so happy when you say that.
You can't deny that one. I mean, you can't.
You get a guy like Peyton Wilson, in a mid round. Another guy that, he took a chance on this guy, but he fell to the right spot, and he drafted him in the right spot where you can afford to take that chance. I think it's not just about, he's definitely like David said, he's definitely taken some risks, and some of the guys that he's both drafted and guys that he's brought in here, quite frankly. But I think he's taking calculated risks that are okay. If you're getting a guy in the third or fourth round, they're not a surefire starter all the time. Peyton Wilson was ready to go day one. Yeah. And he was the best linebacker in that draft. And you get him that late. Even going back to a guy like Nick Herbig, he's a backup right now. That guy's a starter in most teams. He's a starter probably in, I would say, at minimum half of the league. I mean, the pressure rate he has alone is going to get him on the field for most teams around the league.
He's so impactful.
You got him in the fourth round.
Guy.
Yeah, you get him in the fourth round. We get a defensive tackle in the first round when other people may have wanted different positions. But, running back was obviously a huge need in this offseason. He finds Caleb Johnson in the third round. Like, Caleb Johnson was not supposed to be there in the third round. He didn't panic. He didn't trade up. He didn't get rid of assets. And then on top of that, I think the thing that I like about his vision right now, part of it is luck, for sure. I mean, Dan Moore getting, the contract he got, but he's compiling so many picks for next season. I don't know how many GMs go through a rebuild where you totally revamp, every position group on the offense and the defense within a 2-year span, and you're making the playoffs, and then you're also setting yourself up for next year to be an even better team. Like, that just doesn't happen often. I think that's the part that people who are really hard on him. Did he overpay Patrick Queen? Probably. I mean, he paid more for a middle linebacker than most teams around the league are going to do. That's why Queen's here. It wasn't about he wanted to play in Pittsburgh. These guys go where the money's at. But, I don't know. I just really feel like the moves he's made, and Broderick Jones is going to be the one black eye if he doesn't pan out. But Broderick Jones was also always billed as a 3-year project. We're in year 3. You don't know what you have in him. You don't know what you have in Troy Fautanu. The guy hasn't played. So, those are 2 huge swings, and if he hits, you're going to talk about this guy being up there in top 5 GMs in the NFL. But those guys have to hit. That's the key.
All right, let me pour some cold water on this love affair that we got going here. Listen, he's done okay. There are blind spots, and we talk about it all the time. The wide receiver thing is bad. We can say he's rebuilt the offensive line, but that's still TBD. We don't know, like you said, we don't know who Fatano's going to be. We certainly don't know what Broderick Jones is going to be. Even McCormick was okay, especially for his draft slot. He was good.
For a 4th-round pick, he did great.
Yeah, no, I get it. He was good, but we'll see. He only started half the year. We'll see. Jury's still out, or 3/4 of the year.
It's about 3/4 of the year.
Right. Mm-hmm. The DK trade, DK is a great player, but 2nd-round pick and pay him top money for any wide receiver, it doesn't take a genius to do that. I mean, I think
the Steelers never did it in history.
They never had to. Let's be honest. They never had to make a big trade for a wide receiver in the last 20 years.
All right, that's fair.
I mean, he did that after missing on Ayuk, after missing, the Allen Robertsons and Van Jeffersons of the world. The Steelers were desperate, and they probably knew at that point they were trading George Pickens, so they had to get somebody in here, or they were going to be really screwed.
how many times has this team given up on a player that they drafted? He's done it twice with 2 top tier draft picks. That's I think where he's at least different.
That's the thing I like about him is like he's like shit. I fucked up. Get him out of here. That's what I like. They move on. They don't sit there for 4 or 5 years, whatever, and watch this just not go well with him.
And then my other question is, who's really pulling these strings? Is it Omar Khan or is it Mike Tomlin? And who's really making this draft picks? Is it Omar Khan or is it Andy Weidel? I mean, let's not forget what Omar Khan is. He was a cap guy who went on multiple interviews for GM jobs on other teams and didn't even get a sniff a job. Never even sniffed a job. And probably never would have got a job if it wasn't for the Steelers. He doesn't have any scouting background whatsoever. So when we start tapping him on the shoulder because all these great draft picks and all these great trades, I just think I'm not as impressed as you guys are. I think this is coming from other directions.
Well, I thought the same thing when they hired him, Dave. Like, I was like, why Omar Khan? But then I read about how he sat under Colbert for years.
He did, because he couldn't get hired anywhere else.
But he learned from Colbert, which used to be a good thing. So, go ahead, Trent.
So here's kind of my rebuttal to that, though, Dave. As a fan base, how much do we bitch about Mike Tomlin being too much of the guy who's micromanaging every aspect of this team and not being more of the CEO? I really think Omar Khan understands he didn't have the scouting background. I'm going to go get Andy Weidel. I see what he built with the Philadelphia Eagles. It wasn't all Andy Weidel, but he had a vision. He was there with that team. He was a part of that. He understands. They built it from the inside out. And he went and got a guy who understands the thing that he didn't to make his job better and make him more successful. Mike Tomlin, if you want to knock the guy for everything in the world, the one thing you can't knock him for is he puts in the work in the offseason. The dude is at every freaking camp. He is at every goddamn if they ran the Senior Bowl and any other camp in the world at the same time, the dude's going to be fucking flying back and forth to stand on the field at the same time. Like, I mean, he puts in the work. So, like,
he does.
Omar Khan at least understands and takes the information from these guys that he knows better, but he still has influence on the draft, I think. So you got to give him credit for at least understanding where his shortcomings are and finding a way to work around that and be better because of it.
I wanted to say this for reviewing the Minkah trade again, but I'm starting to think that is there a chance that Tomlin has lost some power?
I don't see it. How do you mean?
Well, okay. Pickens is supposed to be his guy, gone. Minkah is supposed to be his guy, gone. Like, we're seeing things happen that we normally don't see. I still can't believe the Minkah trade happened. And to me, that almost signals that maybe some of the reins has been handed more to the guys that are supposed to be making these decisions in the first place.
Yeah, I don't see it, Dave. They don't trade Minkah Fitzpatrick without Tomlin's blessing.
Relic, that's a good one. Najee was Tomlin's guy too. Gone.
Yeah, but with Pickens and Najee, the writing was on the wall. It was very clear that Najee wasn't the back they thought he was going to be. They just knew it. And they knew they had to move. And Pickens, from everything we've heard from Smitty and other guys, it was out of control. It was out of control, and they had to get rid of him.
Yeah, but I mean, stuff with Brown was out of control. Some of the crap they put up with
moved on for him eventually.
Eventually. Well, how long was he with the Steelers? From 2010 to 2017,
yeah, but you can't compare
18?
Antonio Brown to any of these other guys. The guy was putting up fucking monster numbers. You don't just trade that guy away.
He was Pickens is our number one, though.
Yeah, but he wasn't putting up Antonio Brown numbers.
No, but I mean, well,
it's a lot easier to move on from George Pickens.
Ben Roethlisberger compared to Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, and all the rest of the other shows that he put out there. Yeah.
Do you think George Pickens is ever going to be Antonio Brown or close?
With Ben Roethlisberger as his quarterback, he'd have done 10 times better. You know it. I mean, you can't compare.
Oh yeah, no, obviously, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I won't argue that point, but it's easier to move on from George Pickens than it was until Antonio Brown went way off the reservation.
Feel like I wonder if they took away some of the actual roster decisions away from Tom. I wonder if that happened. Behind closed doors, maybe there was hey, we're going to put this player personnel stuff more with Khan and Weidel. I'll give Waddle credit too. Let them and the scouts have more of a decision in what players we target and go after. That's all I'm saying. Thomas still got a shit ton of power.
Yeah.
But I am starting to wonder when it comes to player acquisition and drafts and all that stuff, if possibly, they kind of took some of that stuff away from him. Maybe.
But he says there was nobody more disappointed with George than MT. He was definitely ready to ship him out. Yeah, the first thing I thought of with this extension is Mike Tomlin gave the thumbs up for this, and they went ahead and did it. Extended con.
That's what I originally thought, too. I originally thought that Mike Tomlin's approving all this. But the Minkah one, that's...
I can't. We're going to get to Minkah in a minute, but I cannot wait for that man to get in front of a microphone.
Me either.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, I'm dying for
cannot
it,
wait. Let's put a bow on Con before we move on, though. Look, I can't argue. He's done pretty. This offseason's been nuts. What I tweeted out when I saw this is, if I'm running the Steelers, I want to wait till after the season. Let me see how this plays out. If this becomes an abject disaster, what do you do with the general manager that put this all together? And there is that possibility. I mean, you got a 41-year-old quarterback. You've got a 34-year-old corner. You've got another corner who's been known to be a pain in the ass, even though he's good, in Ramsey. I mean, this thing could go. The offensive line could be bad. This could be a disaster as much as it could be a Super Bowl run.
But I think they're the one team trying to be competitive, yet be in a position to draft their franchise quarterback next year. They're the only team that looks like they're pulling it off to where, holy shit, they're going to be competitive and still have enough picks if they need to move up next year. They're the only one pulling it off. Con's pulling it off. And here's the thing. If it goes to hell, oh well. They're going to pick in the top how many next year and get a franchise QB. Like, I think either way, this goes well for them. If they suck, it sucks for us as fans to watch a shitty team go out there. But at the same time, holy shit, now you're set up to go after a quarterback in one of the best draft classes we've seen in a while now. It's technically win-win. If it goes south, oh well.
I just can't remember a team going through an actual rebuild and also still going all in at the same time somehow. Like,
right.
Yeah. When's that ever happened? Either way, what he's doing, it's not just unique to the Steelers. I think this is unique to the NFL. Like, I don't know how you've overturned an entire roster. I mean, we have a different player in all 22 positions in the last couple of years. I mean, Cam Hayward, TJ Watt, and Alex Highsmith. That's your mainstays from 3 years ago. Like, everybody else is basically flipped over. You got Pat Freiermuth, but who else is left? I mean, they've flipped an entire roster around in 2 seasons, and yet somehow we're still making moves to go all in to try to go win a Super Bowl. And we haven't given up that much to do it. We're acquiring assets somehow. We're spending money, but we're acquiring assets in the process. This is to me, this is a little unprecedented. So if, podcast related, it's a lot of fun to talk about. And if worst case scenario, no matter how you look at it, it's a lot of fun to talk about.
I mean, Justin here brings up a really great point. A+ draft pick, Will Howard. I didn't even bring him up. I allowed another individual to bring him up. Landing him in the 6th round, the Conars just killing it this draft.
And Smitty brought it up. It's the wide receiver thing that really is holding him back.
It is. That's his one thing.
The Brandon Ayuk debacle was just awful. And then not acquiring anybody at the deadline except the corpse of what's his name. And then, again, he got a good receiver. Kudos. DK Metcalf. And he traded George Pickens. And we're right back to where we were 12 months ago. I
don't want to completely derail us here, but let me ask you guys this because I think this is intriguing.
Okay.
Arthur Smith has basically had one season with 2 wide receivers that were legitimate wide receivers on his roster. Okay. Was back in the Titans. What was that, 2017 when it was A.J. Brown and Corey Davis?
Yep.
Do you think that they're not going at – I mean, of course they tried to make a swing for Ayuk, but do you think they're maybe not going after wide receivers more because of the Arthur Smith system? Or is it just they have tried to overhaul everything else and they haven't put the emphasis on the wide receiver position that they should?
Colin made a good point on the Here We Go podcast yesterday with you, Trent, that in Arthur Smith's offense, you don't need a legit wide receiver too.
But why did they go 8 months trying to get Brandon Ayuk? They knew there was a hole. I'll push back and say they were so preoccupied with Brandon Ayuk that they fucked up and didn't bring anybody else in.
Well,
and they kept trying and kept trying and kept trying.
Is that Arthur Smith apparently wasn't allowed to implement his offense completely last season? There's that rumor too, because Darnell Washington is bringing up how so far this year they've been doing a lot of different routes and a lot of different things. That's more with Arthur Smith's style offense. So you tell me, was it really Arthur Smith's thing last year completely, or did Tomlin hamstring with that shit too?
This gets back to my greater point. It's all Tomlin pulling the strings. And anytime you want to give Omar Khan credit or anybody else in this organization credit, it's all Mike Tomlin. Everything goes through him, period. So, I'm an Ohio State fan. I'm not an Ohio State fan, and they're making me hate them too, buddy. Oh, goodness. So here we are. And at this point, we're not getting a wide receiver too. Even if they bring in a Gabe Davis or a Amari Cooper, that's not a real wide receiver too. He swung and missed it again. Let's just be honest. He swung and missed again. Here we are.
That's valid.
Mighty Mouse and the Chiseled God.
I can't argue.
The Chiseled God.
Here we are.
I mean, they just, let's be honest, Raymond Wilson walked into the facilities, took the shirt off, and they were like, fuck it, we're done. We got our wide receivers. We got him. This guy looks like DK Metcalf. He's a little shorter, maybe not quite as heavy, but he's fucking chiseled.
He did the Hulk Hogan where he rips his shirt. He just ripped it.
Did you see the picture of him with that ridiculous picture with DK Metcalf? He looks small. He doesn't look like a chisel. He got a T-shirt on, obviously, but there was no bulging muscles. I don't know what the hell they were looking at, but that guy's not a freaking chiseled god. Was that who was that? That was what's his name there?
Mark
Caboli. Mark Caboli is what he really. Yeah.
Everybody's a chiseled god compared to him.
Fanorexia looks like chiseled god. I don't know.
I mean, if he's using himself as a reference, then I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, all right, let's. And just one more thing. Some of these draft picks that everybody's jumping up and down about, there's a lot of risk in here. A lot of these guys get injured. I mean, I do have to say that I don't think the Steelers roll the dice enough under Colbert, but now I think they do too much. So I'd like to find a middle ground somewhere. Like one a draft, maybe one, not 3 a draft.
3? Yeah.
3 or 4 a draft. Give me 1. I'm good. All right. Do we want to revisit this Minkah Fitzpatrick thing? Because I do. I feel like I need Bob here to be the more negative than me, because I feel like I'm the most negative guy here. But
you are. But go ahead.
I did a post on the website this week, and I went back and read some of the Minkah Fitzpatrick stuff. And he cordoned off the logo and didn't let anybody step on it. He got in the face of Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson because they weren't, they were being little, douches at the time. I even went at Cam Hayward for taking that stupid penalty against the Ravens. And I think we spent all this time getting rid of Pickens and getting rid of all these bad guys. Don't you want to keep a guy like that on the roster? Isn't that the kind of guy, when you go through this miraculous rebuild we're predicting in 26, isn't that a guy you want around for the young kids to see? And granted, he's maybe lost a step. Maybe he's never going to be the Minkah, with the 6, 7, 8 turnovers a season. But that's the kind of guy you want to hang on to.
Relic disagrees.
Well,
he just put simply no.
No.
Look, I get it. He was a leader. Like there's no doubt he was a good leader. But I have seen a lot of video evidence of him either being out of position or not doing things like he's supposed to. Now,
do we know that for sure, though, Dave?
Well,
those clips they put are circumstantial.
Finish, Dave,
sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, but we don't know how much that's being engineered to make him look bad. Yeah. But the video does show some things that look pretty bad on him. I think he's still a phenomenal safety. I do. A great, he was our safety valve against the run because they'd fly through our D line and linebackers, and he was it. But I mean, you're getting paid $20 million, and you have one interception in the whole 2 seasons?
2 years.
Like, I mean, come on. I mean, when I looked up the other top paid safeties with him, the top 10 in there with him, dude, the production wasn't even close. It was bad. And it was just like, fuck, man. Like, it's got to be more than this. We have to be getting more to this for the amount of money we're paying. So it sucks, but and look, I what are they going to do at free safety? I don't know. I don't know if they are just going to put Jalen Ramsey there. I have no idea. But yeah, if he's still being productive like he's been with the Dolphins, then fine with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this one yesterday pretty good bit too. So, like, I think the thing is with Minkah Fitzpatrick, I've been a pretty big defender of his, especially the last 2 seasons, because I feel like the fan base really turned on him and made him out to be like this guy who's not anywhere near earning his contract. And I don't necessarily think it's Minkah's fault. I kind of blame the utilization and the way he's been, established within this. The way he's been using this defense primarily. I mean, he was a guy, if you look back to 2022 and his best season, he was much closer to the line of scrimmage than what he has been the last 2 seasons. You can't ask a guy to go off the ball 15 yards from where he's used to playing and say, oh, yeah, go make splash plays. So from the standpoint of purely the way this defense is obviously wanting to use the safeties, why pay $20 million for a guy who's just there to try to make tackles to stop touchdowns? You can go, Juan Thornhill could probably do what they've asked Minkah Fitzpatrick to a little bit, but go get one of these guys on the free agent market in Simmons or Blackman, and they'll do just fine for a fraction of the price. Bringing back a guy like Jalen Ramsey is something that he's going to be more versatile than what Minkah is right now in his career because he's primary a corner. And we've talked, this team did not upgrade the slot corner. So the nickel, the dime packages that we're going to run, that's going to be Jalen Ramsey. And he's a big physical guy who, unlike Beanie Bishop, he definitely can be someone who can come up and stop the run and run support because he is very physical as a corner. And I do think he's probably going to be the starting safety unless we go get Smitty's guy in the base packages. So if we don't make any moves, I think Ramsey's probably the starting safety in base.
Yep.
So he's the starting safety in base, and he's 20 yards off the line of scrimmage. So he's just as useless as fucking Minkah Fitzpatrick was. Only Mike Tomlin could take an all-pro, all-world, Hall of Fame trajectory safety and turn him into what he turned Minkah Fitzpatrick into, which is, a safety valve. Only Mike Tomlin does that. And I'm telling you guys, he's going to go to Miami and he's going to ball out. He's going to ball out.
I agree with you. I agree totally. I don't think Minkah has lost a step at all. Here's the point I made. So there's a lot of people in the fan base that think he's actually lost a step. He's not as fast as what. That's why he's not making the splash plays. The motherfucker is out there blocking field goals. You can't do that if you're slow, people. Like that, you have to have a huge burst off the edge. He's not coming up the middle and diving over the top. Like he's coming off the edge. You cannot block field goals and be slow. That's not it. Out of position, you can have that argument if you want to, but I feel like he was just overcompensating for other guys who were out of position. That's where I feel like it was going. I don't know.
I have a feeling in my gut that he just had it with Mike Tomlin's defense. He'd had it with all the fuck-ups, the communication issues, the playing him 25 yards back, having to pull everybody else's weight in the secondary and in run defense too, and just said, fuck it, trade me. I wouldn't be surprised.
I got this. I'll calm down. Hold on.
I was going to ask if Brandon Eccles would have any impact whatsoever with the defense now. And I looked it up. They got him listed as third on the depth chart as the nickel quarter. I was like, damn, all right. So nothing.
This is wide receiver on defense. You solved one problem and opened up another. You got DK Metcalf, but now you lost George Pickens, so you're at square one. Okay, we've got our nickel, our slot corner. We've upgraded the cornerback position, but then you fucked up the secondary with the safety thing. And sure, I guess Juan Thornhill can do the center fielder type thing, I guess. I mean, he was atrocious with the Browns last year from everything we've heard.
So I looked up like the Eagles safeties because like I kind of was curious as to how much of an impact they had for them with them having Mitchell and having Slay and the kid from Iowa. His name escapes me. DeJean. Yeah, Cooper DeJean. And I mean, they had Gardner Johnson and they had Blankenship. Gardner Johnson's not a bad ball player. Yeah. So Blankenship was okay, I think. He had like 4 interceptions. So like they still had like decent safety play as well. So because I'm just trying to see if we're trying to mirror the Eagles, like how important was it for them to have, like how good were their safeties last year en route to a Super Bowl win? And they're pretty good. So
we don't play defense like the Eagles do. We don't, it's you can try to mirror them a little bit. I mean, obviously they're a good example. They won a Super Bowls and this and that, but you can't be, exactly like them. And then I started reading about the offensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins. His name's Frank Smith. Supposed to be really good with tight ends. Really good with tight ends. That's why whatchamacallit came out of retirement. I saw an interview with him, and he said, "I'll only play for 2. I'll only come back out of retirement for 1 person." That was Frank Smith. This guy's like a tight end whisperer, which makes me nervous about Jonnu Smith. Because, of course, the first year Frank Smith takes over as offensive coordinator in Miami, Jonnu Smith has his best year by far. Like, by far. It's not even close.
Yeah, well.
And is he going to repeat that here in Pittsburgh? I tend to doubt it. So that makes me even more nervous about this trade now. I'm going to be one angry motherfucker when Minkah Fitzpatrick's killing it in Miami and, Jonnu Smith's average and Jalen Ramsey's popping off at the mouth the first 3-game losing streak that we go on. I can feel it.
Well, it's also weird. Like, there's been people saying that Jonnu Smith's going to take over. I'm going to butcher Parham. Is that his name? The guy they brought
Parham.
Yeah. Parham. They said that that's the role he was supposed to take, and I'm like, how much of an impact was that guy supposed to have in the first place as the 3rd or 4th tight end?
I don't know what's going on.
Dumbfounded by that. I was like, what?
I think Trent, you brought it up earlier. I think this is their thing. They don't think they need a bit wide receiver too. I think they're okay with rolling 6 tight ends out there and playing bully ball, and I don't know.
So Colin looked up the alignment statistics on Jonnu Smith. He actually lined up outside as a Z about as much as he did on the end line tight end.
Yeah.
His most heavy usage was in the slot.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple podcasts ago too. Yeah, he was mostly in the slot. I mean, he can't play slot here, can he? Because then you've eliminated Austin and
why not?
Roman Wilson
if you're in 12 and 13 personnel and you line up in 12 and he splits out,
I guess
all of a sudden you pull a linebacker out with him. He's a matchup nightmare. I mean, the dude's still athletic. Is he going to repeat what he did last year? I don't think he repeats that, but he's still going to create matchups. And for me, I think with Jonnu Smith, it's going to open up running lanes for Caleb Johnson. In the fact that you now have to dedicate a linebacker to guard this guy. This isn't Darnell Washington where you're just going to go attack the run. This guy can get off the line, and he's amazing after the catch.
I also like it, though, to throw different things at defenses. Whether you line him outside or in the slot, I like it either way because you're throwing something different out there. It's not the same shit all the time. Like, that's what they need to be, is quit being so fucking predictable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm fine with it in that regard when it comes to where they put him at. Do both.
I mean, Zach
weren't they
brings up a good
supposed to
point.
do that with Muth? They did that with Muth a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish they'd done it more.
I just worry, Tomlin's been on this thing about, bully ball and all this crap. And when you're behind, bully ball doesn't mean shit. When you're behind 10 points, you can roll all the tight ends you want out there. It's not going to do any fucking good. And they've been behind a lot.
That I agree with.
Zach brings up a good point, and I will concede this, that he's gotten to a worse situation in Miami as far as the defense side of the ball. That team's on the verge of collapse, and they're going to fire that coach if they don't do better.
Well, they're hoping their offense puts up 60 points a game.
And you see Tyreek Hill's already kind of hinting at maybe he wants out of there too. He posted a thing where, I don't know. That could go badly for Minkah. How many more years does Minkah have in his contract?
Minkah, he had next year, I think, was pretty heavy guarantees. The year after that, I think it was pretty easy out.
As far as Adam's point here, dude, as soon as they come anywhere close to that, I'll let you know. But right now, we're pretty safe. We don't have that kind of murderer's row of players. I'm safe to be aggravated and cranky because there are no Joe Montanas walking through this door, buddy. That's for sure. And no Barry Sanders either. As Zach said here, keep in mind they extended Ramsey and Hill prior to last season, and Chris Gears lost. Yeah. It's a train wreck over there, pretty much. Yeah. That's for sure. But we'll see. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and Jalen Ramsey turns into a superstar free safety, and we're all singing Kumbaya at the end of the season. But we'll see.
In base, I just don't see how he's not the free safety when you really look at it.
I still like Bob's idea. Just match up. I
don't disagree with that either. That is a good idea.
Potentially good corners. When teams go in 11, you can use Jalen Ramsey as the slot, and and play somebody else at free safety.
Yeah, I mean the hope is if you've got all three of these corners on the field playing near the line of scrimmage, then you can actually start to blitz again, which we haven't done in a long time, and that's what we need to do to free up TJ Watt.
I'll believe that when I see it, but it's a great idea, Zach. I mean, Zach, Trent, that's a great idea, but
when
was the last time they blitzed heavily?
It's been a while, but last time we were able to do it basically was, last time we really did it effectively, wasn't it when we had Ike Taylor and Joe Hayden together?
Yep.
Yeah.
Effectively. I mean, we were actually Blitzburg.
No, but it makes sense because Peyton Wilson and Patrick Queen are both good blitzing off-ball linebackers if they wanted to come up the middle. I mean, they're both very good at that. They did it a couple times with Queen last season, didn't they? There was a couple. Not a lot, but a couple. And it worked pretty well. So I love that idea in theory. At safety.
He could be wide receiver. I mean, Zach said play Ramsey at wide receiver or tight end. They're going to prove me wrong this year. I hope.
Zach's right with this too about Ramsey. Dude, he actually has a very high pass rush rate or whatever.
Is Tomlin going to do it though?
They gave him a very high pass rush rate or whatever it was.
Is
Tomlin going to do it? That's a good point. I don't know.
He's fallen in love with the play safe, rely on TJ and Highsmith to get home.
Wait, we shouldn't worry about Terrell Austin's the 7th-ranked defensive coordinator in the league.
What's going on with that too? What is going on with that? I saw another one that said he's on a trajectory to be a great defensive coordinator. It's so strange sometimes. I got a person arguing with me that Mike Tomlin's never outcoached. You don't know what you're talking about. He's never outcoached. I'm like, what the fuck are you watching?
Oh my God.
I'll show you the tweet after. It's from a pretty sizable account. I'm like, never. I'm like, have you not watched the playoffs in the last 10 years? Did you not watch that 3-game freaking disaster losing streak? All of a sudden, this is what Steelers fans do. They forget about everything. Everything's roses and rainbows. We're all good. We're all good.
Mike Tomlin's never seen a 4th and 1 on his own 40 where he doesn't like to fucking punt.
Mike Tomlin's never rolled a team out there that looked like it never seen the team they're playing before ever in their lives. I mean, come on, man. Come on. All right, so I hesitate to bring this up, but has Omar Khan done enough? Is this a Super Bowl contending team right now? Is it a deep play? Let's put it this way. Is it a deep playoff team? Let's roll back the expectations a little bit here. Silence from the Khan.
Well, I was going to let Trent go first because I went first last time. So Trent, go ahead.
I think that you have to still make a couple of moves this offseason before you have that conversation. Like, can they steal a game in the playoff? Maybe if you get into a situation where like we win the division and you get a lesser opponent, maybe you can steal a game in the playoffs right now. But like, I think you have to go personally. If you go after Blackman and you make a move at wide receiver, then you can start having more of this conversation. Until you have those two things, those are two very large holes, and this is still going to be so reliant on a young offensive line coming together and improving this year over what we've seen in the past. I mean, all the moves that they're making is setting them up to where you hope you hope Aaron Rodgers plays like second half of last season. Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, great addition. I think it's easy to say that this team has improved at nearly every level outside of now removing Minkah Fitzpatrick. The problem is you don't have the pieces and the horses to go get a Super Bowl.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
I rolled it back a little bit, Smitty. I said deep playoff run. A Super Bowl is too. Well, if everything goes right, this team could be as good as any team in the AFC. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers is good, the running back's good, DK. The defense is certainly talented enough. Oh, Bob's coming in. Aaron Rodgers plays MVP level. We signed some 30-year-olds. I mean, I guess there's a world where this goes really well. It's a lot of things got to go fucking right, though. A lot of things got to go right.
I personally think that they're in position now to win a playoff game. I'm going to go that route. I'm going to say win a playoff game.
Sure.
And the reason why is I think now they do have 3 legit cover corners. They have 2 legit tight ends now that are playmakers, in my opinion. And technically, if they did hit on Caleb Johnson, they now have 2 dynamic running backs. Because I think Jaylen Warren is a dynamic running back. I mean, you saw the difference between him and Najee. It was clear. And now you add Caleb Johnson to that as well. So I think on offense, I think they should do better than last year. I think they will. Now, like what Trent said, though, dude, I still think they need to go get a wide receiver. Still think they need to go add, an actual free safety who's been playing that position. If they do those things, I would move them up to even going deeper into the playoffs. But as of right now, with a 41-year-old QB and still having some of those holes on the roster, I'm at a playoff win. That's where I think they're at.
So is this what it's all about? This season's all about? All this we've all these trades and signings, they're just trying to get this one playoff win off their back, monkey off their back. So is this what it's all about?
Win a playoff game, then go draft a franchise QB next year.
I think they're trying to win it all. I think they think they're there.
I agree with you. I think Mike Tomlin in his head thinks he can win it all.
Well, in his head, never mind. I'm just no.
They think they're there. I mean, I'm pretty sold on the fact that you don't make some of the moves that you make, and you don't get your defense into a situation where it's older as a defense that was already an older defense, right, without thinking you're there. You just need a couple pieces. They probably think this is the pieces they needed.
I mean, the average age of the free agents they've signed has got to be early 30s, right? I mean, when you throw, Aaron Rodgers 41 in there.
Wow, you see this from John? With all the sexy moves, the Steelers still have a 2.8% chance to win the Super Bowl. The unbiased bettors aren't buying the Steeler hype. Oh, look at this.
Well,
what if they add Dobbs and Blackman?
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm a huge Dobbs fan.
Yeah. Me and Trent both like Dobbs a lot.
So. Yeah, I'm with you
guys.
Dobbs. I like Dobbs too. That's that'd be pretty good.
I mean, again, we're in a conference with, Kansas City and Buffalo and the Ravens, and the Chargers are on the up and coming now. This is not an easy conference that's why they're only 2.8.
It's murder's row, really. But what are you going to do? This is it. I mean,
right?
That's why I'm not going to go and say deep playoff run, Super Bowl. Like right now, playoff win is where I'm at.
If they add Blackman, this defense can be as good as any defense in the NFL. Derek Herman just needs to. Jesus, Smitty. I mean, we just need to.
Anything's possible.
Smitty. I mean, we just need Derek Herman to play better than Larry Ogunjobi.
Wow.
He doesn't have to be great.
Bob, look at Bob. Catch Ravens in AFC Championship game. We go to the Super Bowl.
I wasn't taking his happy pills. He doubled up on it today.
That shoulder's flaring up, man. My man's doubling up on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I like the Dobbs and Blackman thing though. That would.
Oh yeah.
I'm all in on that.
Yeah, that would pique my interest a lot.
No, that'd be fine with me. Even if they go after is it Davis or Gabriel Davis or Davis. Even if I even like him if he's healthy. If he's healthy, I like him. And then they get Blackman. Yeah, pretty happy.
I mean, does Blackman move the needle that much? He's still on the street in July. It's still July 4th. He's still,
better than.
I mean, he's
Woods,
a experienced
Jefferson,
safety.
Robinson. Do I have to go down the line of the Skoroneks and the Millers and the? Yes, it's if he's healthy, yes. But I don't know. I don't know if he's healthy.
Again, the way the scheme is, like, does he have to move the needle? He just has to be able to play free safety and not fucking let somebody score a touchdown. That's what Minkah's been doing for 2 years.
Just be the experienced guy in the room that won't fuck up. And that's the other thing we've touched.
Just saying the whole name there, Smitty.
That's the other thing we talked about on our last pod is the whole communication thing. We had a bunch of guys that have been around forever last year. They couldn't communicate with each other. Now we're moving all these pieces around, and that's going to solve the communication. It'll make it worse.
I mean, maybe. Jalen Ramsey, he knows his role. I mean, he's an experienced guy. Slay, are we really worried about Slay having communication issues? I don't think so. Joey Porter didn't have communication issues last year. Elliott, I don't remember anybody saying Elliott was ever out of position.
No.
He was one of the best players on the total defense.
Yes.
He was better than TJ Watt. And I think you can make the argument he played better than Cam Hayward last year. He may have been the best all-around defensive player.
You won't get no argument.
He was right there, dude. When you look at his production, it was right there. Sir Michael Tomlin is very interested in Gabriel Davis.
Gabriel Davis. You're never gonna live that one down. Gabriel Davis.
The kid's name.
Okay, coming from Zachary Smith down there. Fucking Smitty.
Yeah, Minkah was one of the leading tacklers the past few years, telling yes, it was the right time. That's what I said. I mean,
it was.
Yep.
That's the worry with this team, right? Is you can put an all-star team out there. Mike Tomlin is still calling the plays, and you had one. And what was it? 17 when you had all those freaking Tua and Hayward and TJ and Minkah and Hayden and all those guys. It was like an all-star team.
Yeah,
it's the same thing with the GM. You can grab all these players and everything. It's still on the coaches to put them in position to win the game.
Yep.
And that's the harsh truth of it all, really. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if Mike Tomlin actually let Arthur Smith do what he wants to do on offense. And now he gave him a quarterback too that he can do a lot of stuff with.
That's our only hope. That Aaron Rodgers is going to do what he's going to do. And no, not even Mike Tomlin's going to tell him different. That's the one thing we can hope. We'll get the man a wide receiver too, then. One more thing I want to get to before we get out of here is: did you see Aditi Kinkabala's
Jesus Christ
quote about the Steelers told T.J. Watt that he was lucky to be a Steeler, and T.J. said, "You're lucky to have me," or something like that? It's just, is she the most hated?
I don't believe any of that shit. I don't believe any of that shit. Why the fuck would you say that to T.J. Watt? Like, that'd be the most moronic thing to ever say to a player of his caliber. Like, it just. Oh well, look at Zach here. Just Is this? But
wide receiver
Zach,
edition is.
Is this a
We'll
guess?
see.
Or you actually got something cooking here? Like, no. He said Smitty Scoops.
Smitty Scoops.
Smitty Scoops. That's his nickname.
Zachariah Smith here with the.
Yeah, I hope they didn't say that to TJ Watt, because if they did, holy crap. Is there any coach luckier than Mike Tomlin to have TJ Watt the last 10 years? He might have been fired by now if he didn't have TJ Watt bailing him out week
100%.
after week after week.
No, I don't, really. I don't have to believe it's true. And I don't. That'd be I couldn't imagine saying that to TJ Watt. That'd be crazy.
Now he did skip mandatory.
Killing me, dude.
Oh Jesus!
Almost got me in tears. But
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Trent.
There's no way they said this to TJ Watt. Why would he want to be here? Why the fuck would any of these guys want to be here? If they're like, hey, you're lucky to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. No, motherfucker, you're paying my paycheck and I'm winning you football games. Just
100%.
like, there's no way.
That's how you lose players. Like, I just...
Free agents would not want to come here either.
Look, she hates Tomlin. Tomlin hates her. Let's just be honest. That's what this is. She's a Cleveland Browns fan. Now, her husband is a Steelers ticket holder. So, but he's a still huge service. She's a Browns fan, though. So, now that Tomlin and her don't get along, she takes shots at the Steelers every fucking year.
Yeah.
Period. She comes on the afternoon or the PM show, whatever the hell you want to call it, with Andrew Filipponi, by the way, which there's there alone is to tell you everything you need to know. And Mueller. And Mueller's not bad. But, dude, just... And then you hear all this bullshit come out of her mouth. Every year. It's the same shit with her. Whatever.
Yeah. I agree with Smitty. I'm willing to bet his mortgage on this too.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, we're all bet your mortgage, Smitty.
Yeah, dude, there's no way. That'd be so stupid. Like, I couldn't imagine.
So there's no world where this spirals out of control and TJ demands a trade? Because I think we might be teetering on that right about now.
Do you think we're teetering on that already?
I mean, they went
skipping minicamp completely, mandatory minicamp completely.
But they got the money, though. They got the money to pay him. Like,
Why is it taking so long? I know it took this long last time, too.
Yeah.
Why did it take long the last time, too? Then it goes back to why did it take so long the last time?
I saw something.
When he was younger.
And I don't know whether it's true or not because of the world we live in nowadays. But it said that he wants to be the highest paid non-quarterback player in the league.
He's got a reasonable argument.
Do you think there's any truth to that whatsoever?
That might be his agent.
Mm-hmm.
That might be his agent.
Well, wouldn't he be if he's paid higher than Myles Garrett?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody's making more than that I know of.
I don't think so. No.
No wide receivers. Nobody's making more than that.
No. Well, defensive
not
player,
QBs.
right?
No.
I thought it was defensive player.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
He wants to be the highest paid non-quarterback player in the league.
I don't know who the highest paid wide receiver is.
Who?
I can look.
I mean, Justin Jefferson, I think, is the highest paid still, right? He just got his contract.
And I'm sorry, I'm saying that like he actually said it. I'm saying that's the rumor. The rumor is he wants to be the highest paid non-QB player in the league.
I think CeeDee Lamb came under just underneath, I think, right?
Zach and Greg are both saying Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase's contract was larger.
So
that's $43 million. Is that what he's asking? Chase, I think, was somewhere around 42.
But they have the money, technically.
I mean, I don't know. Are we really arguing over?
Relic's got it right here. I'm just bringing this up because I did get said on Twitter.
It's about the same.
I don't know, but the what if? What if this is what it is? He wants to be the highest paid non-QB player, and it was too much for Dave to handle. He's gone now.
Give him $41 million and just fucking be done with it. Who cares?
Oh wait,
just don't guarantee it out 3 years out.
Relic said it's Myles Garrett, Daniel Hunter, and it's Chase, right? Yeah. So we got 40.
I thought Myles Garrett
40 and 35.6.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking it was definitely going to be Myles Garrett. But I mean, who cares? Just give him 41 and be done. Like, are we really arguing over hundreds of thousands of dollars in the NFL? Like, that's nothing to me.
Zach brings up a good point with the whole guarantees thing, because that was the issue last time, wasn't it? If I remember correctly,
it was. I don't know. Would you give him 3 years of guaranteed money?
I'd give him a ton of guaranteed money.
I think I would stop at 2 years because of the
you read my
downside.
mind. I was literally about to say that. Most of it's in the first 2 years. Yes.
Yeah. I would load up heavy in the first 2 years with an out on the third year. But I don't see a problem with 41 million being the issue. I would pay him that. I've said that many times. He's worth it. He's earned that 10 times over in his career.
Yeah. No. I load the first 2 years of guaranteed money, give him the 41 million, be done.
I agree.
But I don't know. Maybe he's, I don't know, man. I
It almost feels like there's got to be some kind of a small detail within this contract that's holding this thing up. I can't imagine the team doesn't want to pay him the 41 million.
Right.
So then it's got to be either the length of the contract or how far the guarantees go out in the contract. But if you're TJ, why would you care if it's 2 years or stretched out over 3 years? If you're getting the money either way.
If you sign, you're going to have to. That's a sticking point. 41 more per fine. 82 million guaranteed won't get him to sign. Wow. Wait, you don't think 82 million guaranteed will get him to sign? Fuck. I
think it's to me, I think you make it a 3-year deal.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking 3.
But you front load the first 2 years.
Yes. Front load the first 2 years with the most guaranteed money, and then in that third year, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, man. If he won't even take that, I don't know.
Well, then you're in a whole different ballgame in the conversation, I think.
The Zachary Smith is saying if it would, he'd be signed by now. So, fuck. My God, how much fucking money do you want guaranteed? Damn.
I mean, a 3-year, $120 million contract where you front load the first 2 years in guarantees, but that third year, even at a $120 million contract, like would he be 34 at the end of that contract?
I believe so.
For an edge rusher who plays on pure speed,
and that doesn't sound good, does it?
I'm questioning extending a third year in guarantees out there.
Yeah, and that's probably the holdup.
I mean, maybe like, I don't know. You would almost have to like, if that's honestly the issue, what Smitty's saying, would you just throw the first 2 years at 90 million, 45 each first 2 year, and then basically it's still $120 million contract where basically the third year doesn't get guaranteed anything?
You could try it. Dude, that's kind of crazy to me. When I see that $82 million guaranteed is not good enough. Well, wait a second. How much was guaranteed that the contract last time? Was it 90 million guaranteed last time? I think it was, wasn't it?
Probably somewhere in there. I think it's what it was.
4 for 164 million, 100 million guaranteed, about 2.5 years guaranteed. So that's what Smitty's proposing.
I would not go 4 years though. Whew.
Yeah, 4 years.
I mean, the third year being half guaranteed is fine.
100 million guaranteed though, then it's not bad. That's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially, you're just saying that third year would be like, we're only giving you half of that 40 million you wanted guaranteed in the third year, if that's what the hang up is.
Yeah.
So that could, in theory, work. Or he says, no, motherfucker, I want it all guaranteed for the first 3 years, 120 mil guaranteed. Could you imagine? Or what would it be? 143 million guaranteed for the first 3 if he wants a 4-year deal?
Yeah.
Dude.
I don't know, man. You're starting to push into pretty risky territory, I think, if you're
you are
really trying to guarantee a third season on this thing. I wouldn't feel good about it. I love TJ Watt and I want to keep him. But guaranteeing a third year on this is
the thing that sucks is is that if they hit on their franchise QB next year and TJ still plays at that level, because even this past year, his down year was still top 5 in tons of categories.
Right.
Like, if you still get that, going into his year 34 with a franchise QB as well, you don't want to lose him.
Right. I think the thing is, like, so my argument for paying him up front, which a lot of the fan base was,
I swear to God,
so
he's thinking about the QB thing too. Look at that.
That was going to be my argument all along. Is you're paying a rookie quarterback? Yeah. Why not pay him? I mean, I don't know. If you're going to make an argument to guarantee a full 3 years with this guy, it's because you're getting a rookie quarterback on 2 of those years, and you're not going to have to extend the quarterback.
Yep. Dave lost power, by the way, if you didn't see that text.
I did see that. Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's a tough pill to swallow to guarantee 3 years with TJ Watt, but I would be in favor of 2.5.
Yeah. No, I think that I don't mind Zach's thing either. That deal, you can't do a guaranteed $40+ million 3 years straight going into what his age would be. Like, dude, like you said. So that's tough. That's a tough. That's why I don't. If that's what it is, I don't blame them for them being like, yeah, no.
Yeah, we're not guaranteeing $120 million, dude.
Yeah,
that just ain't happening.
No. All right, I guess I'll take the reins here since he's not back and his power's out. You got anything else, Trent?
No, man, I'm good.
All right, cool. Hey, everybody, thanks for in the chat. Appreciate it. You guys make this thing so much fun. Don't forget to, if you haven't yet, to sign up on Ultra GM and join our personal league. Use the promo code Sanctuary25. If you guys like what you're hearing, you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe on YouTube. We'd really appreciate it. That's all we got, guys. Take care. We're out.
That's all the shit I'm gonna get, motherfucker.
Excuse me. Thank you.
What am I supposed to do?
You are embarrassing yourself here, lads.
Saw that coming.
Wrong, sir. Wrong. Okay, I'll play. You got me.